Hey, hi, and hello. Welcome to today's video, and I'm happy you clicked on it. It is time to talk about all the books I read in February. It's been a lot. I think there's around 20 books that I read. So it's gonna be a long one. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's hang out together. February, like I said, was a good reading month. I had a lot of 3.5 stars. And two 5-star reads. So I'm very happy. Um, I'm checking out if this microphone is something I want to work with in the future. I got this like a few months back. I never used it, so now here I am using the mic. If it's not good or not enjoyable, please let me know. I won't use it again, but I thought it was a little fun thing to use in the video sometimes because normally I just use the microphone of my phone. Um, yeah, so I want to have my ratings accurately because normally I'm like, I think it is a 3 stars or it was a 4 stars. Normally I know my 5 stars pretty well, but everything below that, I wouldn't know. So I've got my reading journal here. These are all the books I read in February. Like, it goes all the way down. I almost ran out of space. What the hell? Um, so yeah, um, this is it. And next to it, I just wrote in pencil what my ratings were. So if you ever see me picking up something, it's me looking at my ratings. If you want to know more about the books that I read and want to keep or want to be up to date with what I read, I will link down my Goodreads in the description if I can. Or it's just my username that I use on Goodreads. More reviews are in there, and from all the books I really really love, they're on my Instagram. I will always link it down and pop up a photo here of my grid, so you know you got the wrong or the right person. But let's get into it because we're yapping away. We're yapping away. So there are a lot of books here next to me. I wanted to go in order of how I read it, but I don't know if that's possible. But I started my reading month with The Wind by Fredrik Backman. Um, this is the third book in the Beartown trilogy, and I didn't enjoy As Against You and The Winners as much as I did Beartown. I don't know what it was, but Beartown for me was a 5 stars, and then As Against You was a 3.5, I think, and then The Winners was a also 3.5. I don't know what happened, but she's junky, and I still read it in like 3 days because I had nothing to do. But I don't know. I think I got confused around the characters and everything. Um, I don't know what happened. Everyone's always raving about this book, and I saw the hype with Beartown, and I was like, oh, I need to read the rest, and then the rest was slightly disappointing to me. If you liked it, I'm happy for you, and also let me know why you liked it. The ending was a shocker. I will say that I did not see that coming, and that made up for a lot of the book. But for the book that is like 600 to 700 pages long, it just didn't hit me, and I'm very very sad about it. Um, Let me see what my next book was. It was our book club book. This will be going up after our book club meeting, so you don't have to skip anything. But we read As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zulfa Kato. Um, this is a historical fiction. First time I read a historical fiction, and I want to say I want to read more, but I can't find any good things. I think Kristen Hanna is a good one with historical fictions. So yeah, I might pick her up. I just might. But in this book, you follow a war going on in Syria, and you follow our main character Salama, and she goes through. We follow her point of view and how she's dealing with the war, and having to, you know, getting infiltrated by the military of the other person, of the other country. I don't know. It really had me, and reading this with the time we are in, it just was shocking. Like, we could have this. here. And I know in other countries it is happening, and I'm happy I'm not in there or not there, but I am living. My heart goes out to those people who live there. No one should be able. No one should live like this. But that book really opened up my eyes to some of the things that these people are going for every single day. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I just read on my butt book and I gave it 4 stars. Let me explain. Like I said, it's happening in a war. The ending, I don't know. I think it would have impacted me more if it was drastically changing. Like if the ending was different in like a 180 way, it would have made me cry. But it didn't. Um, there was a scene in this book where she found out something about her best friend. I cried. I want to say I cried. That book, that scene, shocking. I didn't even see it coming. Like it felt so real. Holy damn. But yeah, it was the second book I read. I really liked it. I really did. I really enjoyed it. Um, then I have a reread I did for the next two rereads I did over in February, and that is Play Long by Liz Forty. We follow Isaiah and Kennedy in this book, and oh, Isaiah, I love him. They end up getting married in Vegas, drunk, and Kennedy doesn't like him. She is one of the few women in the sports community, and she's like, I don't want this with you because people are gonna think you gave me all of this. And then Isaiah has been obsessed with her over 3 years, and now they're married. And you see them working it out with each other, and oh, I just love it. I loved it. I love the found family in these books. Um, so yeah, and I saw in November is coming a new series with Liston 40. I'm sad. I am sad. Don't get me wrong. I love all of her books. I've read everything she's put out so far. Amazing. So obviously after my reread of Playland game, rewind it back. And this we follow Rio and Hallie, and they are childhood friends to lovers. And yeah, I wouldn't say enemies, but they hate each other back to lovers because she is renovating his house, and you follow their both point of views and from the past and the present. I just love it. I love it. The dedication when I started to reread it, I read the dedication. I already cried, because the dedication goes. Let me check it real quick. Here's the 10 characters, 5 couples, 3 teams, 2 sets of siblings, and 1 amazing friend group that changed my life. This one is dedicated to you, the readers. Thank you for hanging out in Chicago with me. Oh, these books. Oh my god, I might cry again just by reading the dedication. But both of these books are 5 stars. They were 5 stars when I read them, and they are still 5 stars. If I gave them more, I would. I really would. But I reread them because In Our Own League is coming out. When I'm filming this, it's coming out tomorrow, the 3rd. So yeah. Um, then I finished up a duology, if I can find the book in the stack here. And that is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. This is the second part in the duology with One Dark Window. And I think I rated One Dark Window 4.5 stars. And I rated this 4 stars. It was fun. It's a darker fantasy with like gothic vibes, and you have to find these tarot cards with magic in it, and it was amazing. Nightmare, he is a character in these books. He is my guy. I I just liked him. I really liked him. He is a sarcastic person. Let's just say that, and I like his humor. But this concludes the trilogy of the duology. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but if you have not read these books, you should. It was really fun to read about. The next book is also by the same author, which is The Night and the Moth, by Rachel Gillick. This is the first book. I don't know. I know there's a second book coming out later this year, but I rated this 3 stars just because some of the things were coming up unexpectedly, and I was like, why is this here? I don't know why it was there, and it shouldn't be there. but the ending made up a lot, and I do wanna read the second book. It's coming out this year, and I'm hoping it stays a duology or a trilogy. Because if I do like the second book, I might pick up the third, but I don't know what's gonna happen with this. So we shall see. Um, yeah, this month I finished a lot of series. The books are falling in front of me. It's fine. They're in a bookcase. But I did also manage to read other books, and I'm searching for a book and I cannot find it. Where did I? Okay. Next up, I read. I'm glad my mom died, and it should be here somewhere. But I don't know where it is. Is it still back? No. I don't know where that book. But I'm glad my mom died by Janet McCurdy. She is Sam from iCarly, and it follows her being a child actor and having a toxic mother, and how that impacted her life, going through it and still being older and still getting into these toxic situations. And I really liked it. I really liked it. I just liked the way it was written, and I listened to the other book, and it was fun. Um, it's her autobiography. Um, so if you haven't read it yet, read it. I think it gives like a clear point of view for people in like the acting career. And shouldn't be like always this toxic, but being a child in this industry, I think that's pretty hard. But I rated it a 5 star. I really liked it. I lost my copy somewhere. Oh wait, it was right behind me. It's here. I'm glad my mom died. It's this book, and I annotated it. And I wanted to cry so much for that girl. She went through so much. So yeah, 5 stars. That next book that I read was a dark romance. That I read for my finishing series I'm in the middle of, or continuing series I'm in the middle of um, video. If you haven't read it yet, I will link it somewhere up here so you can watch it. But it is The Sinner by Chantal Tashier. This is the second book in the Lords series. This is a dark romance, so if you do want to read it, check your warnings beforehand because it is dark. Not dark with like dark topics, but also spice dark. But I rated it 3.5 stars. I think that was better than The Ritual, but I do think that is also because I knew what was gonna happen. Um, because with The Ritual I didn't know what to expect, and with this I knew, but I feel there was a bit more plot, and I like romances with plots. So yeah, 3.5 stars. I do want to continue into the last book, and I'm currently reading it. It is The Sacrifice. It's somewhere behind there. That's my March CDR so far. So yeah, 3.5 stars. Then in the same video, I read The Night Prince by Laura Perelman. I don't know if I said it correctly. If I don't, I'm sorry. I rated it 4 stars. It's the second book in the duology, and you end up, or you start to read where this first book ends. It's amazing. It really is amazing. The third book is coming out in September or August, and then the trilogy is ending. Sometimes I do really like just trilogies. Like these books are like thick, like 400 to 500 pages, but I still really enjoy them. So if you're in the mood for a werewolf romance with a little bit of a love triangle, but you will see where they end up. Honestly, if you've ever read anything with werewolves, fairies, you do know what's gonna happen. I knew it for the first time I read about these characters and the one they met. Um, so yeah, in that same video, I read 3 books in that video. I read Game Changers by Rachel Reed, which is the first book in the Game Changers series. I gave this 3.5 stars. I think this is a fun book. It's about Gib and Scott. And the fun thing is, I watched that episode in Heated Rivalry before watching or reading the book. And so much was like copy and pasted from books to screen, which I really liked. It was third person, so I really had to switch from that because I was like, oh, third person. Normally I don't like third person, but I think this is done correctly. And I don't know, I wanted to keep on reading. So I really like their story and the doubts of Scott being like, I'm gay, but I don't know how to come out because they are, they are against gay people in the hockey scene. So he was like, I don't know about it. I don't know. But anyway, really liked it. Then I read a duology that I just want to say I'm sad that I didn't like it. Because it was so hyped up. But it is Your Knife, My Heart, and My Blade, Your Back by Gail Maranova. I don't know what to say about both these books. Let me down. I think they're both 3 stars, which is a fun and okay rating. The edges are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I wanted more. It's a dark military romance, and I was like, ooh, dark romance. Um, but it gave me absolutely nothing. Yeah, it gave me nothing. So I didn't like the writing. I think that was pretty mid. I didn't like the characters too much. So the ending of book 1 was interesting, so I want to keep on reading into book 2, but I should have skipped it. I should have. And I don't need enough books, okay? Or I need to really hate it. But I powered through and I finished both these books. I wouldn't say they're worth your time, but if you want to check it out, you should check it out. And then I read Sabotage by Tessa Chantal Tessier, the same author as The Sinner that I read. Because a friend of mine recommended reading it before The Sacrifice, even though it's rated as the 4th book in the Lost series, but she's like, you'll get to know the characters in The Sacrifice more if you just read um, Sabotage first, and I really liked it. I don't have a physical copy, I do want to get it, but my dark romance shelf is also a bit piling out, so I might get it sometime this year. It is on my Amazon wish list and stuff like that, but we shall see if I ever manage to get it. It is also in my card. I think I have like 3 books in my card, which is Syndicator by Runix, In the Dark, of Into the Dark by Chelsea Curto, and Sabotage by Chantal Tessier. I just want to get it, but it's like almost €6, and I'm like, I don't know. But I'm also looking for the Rings books on Vinted, because I got part 1 until 5 from Vinted, and I'm hoping for the 6th book also to be on Vinted sometime. Because I think I haven't paid any more than €10 for all of these books separately. So if I wanted to get it from Amazon, it would be like €20, and if I get it from Vinted, it might be 4 or 5. But yeah, I'm searching for like the indie published, and they are getting out of print, so I just have to be looking and searching, but we'll get there. So yeah, Sabotage is a novella. It was like 200 pages. It was fine. It was quick. The ending though, she took her revenge, and I was happy for her. 3.5 stars. Nothing more to say. Then I read one of my most anticipated reads of the year, which is And Now Back to You by Vicky Borison. I rated it 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I binged this in a day. I just couldn't stop it. And I just want to say Vicky Borison is now one of my Autobot authors. I don't care. I will buy it when she writes it. In this book, we follow Jackson and Delilah, and they are both weather reporters, but on different versions of different television or radio. I think Delilah was on television, and Jackson is on the radio, and they both had to work together to review or look into. I don't know how to explain it, but they both had to go into stormy weather with like a wind or a snowstorm coming in, and I don't know, they had to broadcast it into the radio station where Jackson works for. In a way for Delilah, I think, to get her reputation back up. But she kissed him because she was nervous to calm down. I threw my Kindle across the room when I read it. Okay, oh, that was so good. I do have to get I think my annotations into this book. Okay, I was editing the video, and after I was talking about Now Back to You, a big version, my microphone didn't work anymore. So here I am. Again,
talking about the last 5 books that I read in February. And I want to say, I know you should tell me if the mic was working. It was working. Maybe a bit too much. I didn't like the sound. It made of every now and then. So I don't know if I will use it again. I don't know. It was a cheap microphone for like €5, but still, it was better than nothing. But it wasn't, what I was looking for. So here we are again, and now I don't have to worry about something dying. Oh, I was editing and I was like, where's the sound? Where is my sound? Wasn't there, obviously. So here we are again. So after An Now Back to You, I read Heated Rightfully by Razor Reid. I really liked it. It follows Shane and Ilya, and this is their story, or the first part of their story. I do know I think they are getting 2 more books, because I think The Long Game is also their story. And there's Unrivaled coming this year. But I really liked it, also third person. And if you have wanted to read the books and wanted to read or watch the series, you should read this first and then watch the series, because you're like, oh, so much is like brought from screen or from book to screen. It's like copy and paste, and I really liked it. I binged the last 2 episodes last Saturday night. So 4 stars. I really liked it. I do really much want to continue. I don't know in what way I read these books anymore. I think I read Half His Age, and after that, this was a 4 stars. This is the same author as I'm Glad My Mom Died. This follows a teenage girl who falls for a teacher, or for a high school teacher, and you get into their whole relationship, and it is messy. It is messy, but in a good way. I would have loved to see like some trigger warnings before going into this book, because she has some coping mechanisms that are not the healthiest. But if you liked I'm Glad My Mom Died, you should really pick this up. It's really good, really fun as well to read about. So yeah. Now I'm just guessing what I read after that. No, they're all in front of me. After that, I read In Around Lake by Less Than 40. 5 stars. 5 stars. I found this early in the bookstore, or my local bookstore, because I saw other people getting it out early as well. And I was like, I need to be one of those persons to get this book early. I do have this a pre-order for Waterstones, which is signed, and I got the email that it is out for delivery, but it is coming from the UK, so we'll have to wait for that. But this is my annotated version. I didn't want to use my, my signed edition to annotate them, and since I annotated the whole Windy City series, I just had to do this too. But in this book you follow Reese and Monty, and Reese has just got ownership of the baseball team in Chicago after her grandpa retired, and she is the first woman in the league to ignore that. That is our sounding alarm. It's 12 o'clock. Anyway, we're gonna talk over it. I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. But she's the first woman in the league to own a baseball team. And Monty, he is the coach of the baseball team, and you follow their relationship. They are a power team. They are a power couple, and I love them. I love them so much. Yes. Highly recommend. Coming out tomorrow, or the 4th of March. So if you watch this, it is already out. You should read it, because some characters from the Winning City series are mentioned again in the Roman League, and I cried about it. I cried about it. I missed them. So then I read Tough Guy by Razor Reid, which is the 3rd part in a Game Changer series. I like this. It's not my favorite. I know I rate this 3 stars. It is so far my least favorite, but still not bad. And I think this book was necessary in a way, because you see more of Shane and Ilya mentioned throughout the story, and towards the end they are mentioned a lot, and I think this was necessary. So I do recommend you reading this series in order. The couples that may be getting a little bit split off, but you see sprinkles of them in different books as well. So yeah, highly recommend. And the last book I read is The Reaper by Renix. I read this on the 28th of February. But I did it, I read it. I did audiobook this a lot. Some parts I did when I was busy doing other stuff. And I did really like it. This follows the same couple as The Predator, which is part 1 of the Talkverse series. And I think it follows where it ends, because I read The Predator last April or May of last year. And then now I read The Predator of the Reaper. And I do think there are some conclusions in the end of the book that are necessary. And I do really recommend it. It is a dark romance, so check trigger warnings first. Like I always say with dark romances, because you should. But it is very fun, 3 stars. And I have the Emperor on my March TBR, so if you wanna know what my books are on my March TBR, I will link also that video up here somewhere. I don't know where it is, okay? So that was it. That was my February wrap up. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and leave a comment what was your favorite book of February. And I will catch you in the next one. Okay, goodbye.